I'm Nate Doss, 26 years old, from Santa Cruz, California.
Cool. So yeah, Nate, can you describe an average day in the life of a professional disc golfer?
The average day in the life of a disc golfer is pretty cool. Like if we're on tour, we're usually staying with somebody at somebody's house or some campground somewhere, or hotel. We get up and just head out to the course and get a cut. Usually we try to only play once a day, like 18 holes a day, not really try to overdo it too much, but just playing the game you love. For us, we look at it like work, but for most people it's just a game, but for us it's like going to work. So it's pretty cool,
Yeah, it sounds like a real tight-knit community, which is nice.
Yeah, very tight-knit community. Every golf course you go out to, people know who you are, they've heard of you most of the time, and then you get those courses where people don't know who you are and they have no idea that there's even professional disc golfers out there. So it's a kind of a balance out there of people who know what's going on and people that don't. But either way, it's always cool to head to a new course and a new area.
Yeah, for sure. What keeps you in Santa Cruz?
What keeps me in Santa Cruz is the weather. We have the best weather in the world, in my opinion. The summers are mild, the winters are mild. It never gets too hot, never gets too cold, and I mean, what more could you ask for? Plus I was born here in Santa Cruz, born and raised, so for me it's home. And I don't plan on changing my home anytime soon.
Sure. Did you leave in any part of that, or have you always lived in Santa Cruz?
I've always lived in Santa Cruz. Yeah, actually, when I was younger, about 4 to 6, my mom moved over the hill for a job in the hospital, in a different hospital. My mom's a nurse, and so I did live out of Santa Cruz for 2 years, but we came right back and have been here ever since.
Cool. Who turned you on to disc golf, and when did you first start playing?
Me and my dad started playing disc golf at the same time. It was 1992. I was 6.5. Yeah, right about the beginning of '92, my dad saw like an infomercial on television, like on the community channel, about disc golf and De La Viega, and he said, well, I used to play Frisbee in college, let's go check it out. So we went up there and we met Marty Hapner, who's a Hall of Fame disc golfer, and started playing the course, and my dad was hooked immediately, and so I just kind of followed in the footsteps, really. I mean, I was so young, I was just a kid out having a good time, and it's turned into a lot bigger thing for me now, but yeah, that was how it all started.
Yeah, I'm sure your dad didn't expect his son to turn out to be a professional player, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Cool. What are your favorite courses around here?
Around the world, I gotta say De La Viega. I mean, my home course is obviously one of my favorite, but around the world, the Nasu Highlands course in Japan is amazing. I absolutely love that course. This newest course that they just put in Nokia, Finland, for the European Open is amazing. I mean, one of the best, probably the best course I've played in Europe. And Winthrop Gold, which is where the U.S. Open is held, is the premier course in the U.S. So those are three of my favorite from around the world.
And if you had to build a course anywhere in the world, where would it be?
If I had to build a course anywhere in the world, probably Hawaii. If I were to build a course, if I could get like a sweet piece of property in like Maui or something, I think I would want to build there and just make it like a real destination type of thing. So I've actually never been to Hawaii. I've been to 48 states. Haven't been to Alaska or Hawaii, but I think Hawaii would be certainly the best destination for sure.
Very cool. All right. And what do you do when you're not playing disc golf? What do you like to do in your free time?
I like to do a lot of different things. I mean, I'm a sports fanatic, so obviously watching sports, football, basketball, my favorite things. I played a lot of basketball in high school. I was on the team, and until these last couple of years, I was a coach I was an assistant coach for my high school team, so I really like to do that. But other than that, just hanging out, and sitting on the couch, and I like cooking a lot. I wish I could be a chef too, but unfortunately I can't. But I love cooking a lot and just kind of following a recipe, and might sound a little weird, but it's a lot of fun, and it's just cool to make something that tastes good. So.
For sure.
Yeah,
I love to cook
into
too.
That. Yeah.
That's funny you answered one of our questions. We were going to ask you what else you would be besides a professional disc golfer. So we'll move on to another one. How did you and Avery meet, and how long have you been friends?
Me and Avery met basically when I came onto the scene, like I was 15 years old in 2000. Avery was already a professional disc golfer, like touring at that time, and him and Dave Felberg were like the new hot young players on the in the field, and so I just I wanted to follow the best players, and Avery was one of the best players, and he used to travel around in a Winnebago, and in the 2001 World Championships I was actually able to travel with them to and from the hotel to the course. And that was where we first met, and it was, I was just Nate Doss, a kid, and, this and that. And then as the years went on, a friendship became more and more, and to the point where we started sharing hotels and traveling together for short periods of time to now where we travel, 40 weeks a year together, and, we see him pretty much every single day.
Yeah, so he kind of took you under his wing.
Yeah, I think, he did in the beginning, definitely. And then after a while, it became more of just a relationship, like a friendship. It wasn't so much like teacher-student as much as it was just friends. And I mean, he was definitely somebody I looked up to when I was younger, for sure. Just being, young and really good at what he was doing, and it's just cool to kind of see that come full circle now and just be friends.
Definitely. Besides Avery, are there any other players, present or past, that inspired you most?
Oh, there's been so many people. I mean, the list, I couldn't even go through the list, but a couple that really inspired me. One was Crazy John Brooks, who most people know him as a commentator now on Disc Golf Planet. He was a great disc golfer. Kind of at the tail end of his career when I first met him, but just really inspiring and really kept me focused and driven on what was actually possible. And then, so he was like my mentor, and then the guy that I really wanted to be like was Steve Rico from Los Angeles. He was just a young kid, fired at every hole, made putts, he just didn't care what happened, and I wanted to be Stevie. And now me and Stevie are extremely close friends, basically like family. So yeah, those two definitely in the very beginning were two people that helped me along.
That's awesome. We only have a few more questions. What are the biggest changes you're seeing in the sport today?
Mostly field size, mostly and especially in the amateur side of things. The pros I'm seeing younger kids coming in, 18-year-olds that come into the pros and they can compete right away, and that's been kind of a new thing over the last few seasons. But I just see these amateur fields huge. There's so many new players, there's so many intermediate, advanced guys that are coming up through the ranks, that that's kind of the big thing in disc golf right now. The purses aren't bigger, the things are kind of okay, but as far as many people play, it's really kind of taking disc golf and moving it forward.
Yeah, it's definitely a gold rush right now, for sure. And then how do you give yourself a competitive edge? Do you have a daily routine at all?
I really don't have a daily routine. I would say that the edge that I have sometimes is that if I get into, if I eat a certain thing for breakfast and I had a great round, well, I'll eat the same thing the next day. I think that's more superstition than anything, but that's just how athletes are, and I do that all the time. Like for the World Championships, I eat the same thing every morning. I didn't change the way I woke up, took a shower, stretched, eat, go to the court. It's like same thing over and over again. I don't know if that's an edge, but it just makes me feel more comfortable and just prepared.
Definitely. I see a lot of superstition in disc golf between blowing on fingers and
Even on the way you tee off, people
Yep.
do certain things right before they throw or putt. And that's just an athlete in general.
Definitely.
It's like some basketball player shooting a free throw. Steve Nash, Jason Kidd blows a kiss to the basket. He's blowing a kiss to his kids, but he does it before every free throw. Yeah, it doesn't make him make any more free throws, but certainly makes him feel comfortable and helps him. Yeah, it's all upstairs.
Definitely. And then our last question, we were just wondering what your focus was before you became professional, before disc golf, and at what point disc golf finally took over.
I basically was taken over from the very beginning. After about 6 months of playing, playing just casually, my dad started playing tournaments and I played my first tournament. And that was a lot of fun. I was just a kid though. And then as I got to 10, 11, 12, and I was playing in the amateur ranks, I kept telling my dad, well, I don't want to do this anymore. I want to play in the pros. Because I wanted to play with the best players. And I wanted to learn from them. And he's like, well, I'm paying your entry fee, so you're playing in, And I'm kind of glad he did that. It helped me learn how to win. I was able to win tournaments as opposed to just taking last place or close to the bottom. I was able to learn how to compete and finish a tournament and, play under pressure. So, and then I turned pro officially in 1999 after I won the Junior World Championships in Kansas City. I turned pro right after that and played a bunch of pro tournaments and didn't cash until the next year. And I had just turned 15 when I cashed in my first pro tournament. So yeah, pretty cool.
Yeah, so it was just there from the beginning.
Yeah, I was lucky enough to grow up here in Santa Cruz that we had the Masters Cup that comes through every year, and so Climo and Scott Stokely and all these great players would come through, and I saw what they had and I wanted that, and so I just kind of ran with it.